I am so close to the end of this project I can pretty much taste it at this point. Tastes a little bit like silicates and Portland cement and, just a hint of vanilla. So yesterday after grinding off the slurry that I'd put on, cleaned it up real good and then gave it a blow job overnight. Seems pretty good and dry now. Today I am going to be sealing this with my arch nemesis Ghostshield 770. This stuff has no sheen to it, so it's what you see is what you get on your countertop. So make sure you're pretty happy with the surface before you apply this, because you can't go back. Well, you can, but you're going to be grinding down again to get that layer off, and then you're starting all over. So to reiterate, this requires a 100 grit polish, nothing higher. If you go higher, it's not going to penetrate the concrete, so don't think you can polish this up real fine and then get this to work. Not happening. Alright, let's mix up a bit of this stuff here. This is a 3-to-1 ratio concentrate. If you haven't used these buckets before, damn handy. There's 3 columns here. This is actually for 3 different components. First column, second column, third column. First component, second component, third component. So we just have 2. So in order to make a 3-to-1, you fill up to the 1 mark with water, in this case, and then up to the second 1 mark for the concentrate, and that'll be 3-to-1. Now, if you wanted to make more, you would go to the 2 mark with water, and then up to the second 2 mark with the concentrate. Makes it super easy. I mean, if you've got like a yogurt container or something, it's tapered slightly, so even if you just mark it out on the container with a marker, it's kind of hard to get an exact ratio. So here we go. I'm just hoping maybe this bucket is too big, actually. Like I said, I'm going to need about yeah, I think it is, actually. Yeah. Oh, geez, eh? Oh, okay. Wait. This is too much. I only need 1/3 of this container to do the whole thing, so let's back that up a bit, eh? Alright, same shit, different pile. We're going to go up to the 1 mark, because I do believe that should be enough. Oh, that was supposed to be with water. Holy crap. I'm an idiot. Alright, I need water. Alright, 3rd time's a fucking charm here. Okay, up, I think we're going to go to the 2 on the 3-to-1 markings. And, or maybe, actually, I think I'll go 3. Yeah. Whatever's left over, I think I can just save in one of these containers. So, and here we go. Let's get it from here. Okay, so 3 on the 3 component, and then up to the second 3, and done. All right. Woo! Made it. Mixy. As this is a dihydrogen monoxide product, I don't think it's very toxic. I'm not going to wear gloves for this. And away we go. Okay, now don't get excited. That nice sheen you see is not going to be there soon. We're going back to the mat very shortly, I'm sure, as soon as this soaks in. Oh, please soak in. Now, instructions say you don't want to leave any puddles, and you want to do 2 coats, and you can't let the first coat dry before you do the second. In my estimation, what we're doing here is we are just saturating the surface. You give her as much as she'll take, and not a drop more. Alright, we're getting a bit of penetration right along the edge here, which is also where I found that I couldn't quite grind effectively without rounding off the edge too much. So it does appear that the crappier your concrete, the better this stuff works. I feel like I have my 2 coats on now, and I'm just going to watch it. just realized there's no reason I can't test out this what this product is like on just raw concrete by using my floor. So let's just put some down and see what happens. So let's give it a good coat and see how long it takes to penetrate into the concrete. So yeah, I can already see it drying up. Yeah, right before your eyes, people. Now the other stuff, yeah, it's still wet on the surface there. Yeah, that is crazy. Now, of course, it's going to depend on the type of concrete. I use that Saccrete 8000, which is for countertop white. It's a high, what do you call it? High stress concrete. Before it dries, we'll add a second coat. That's going to be the best part of my basement. All right, so Saccrete 8000 is a high stress concrete, so perhaps the density of that stuff is higher than whatever you use on this whenever they pour these floors. I have no idea what they use, but that could be the reason why. Seeing how quickly it worked on the floor, you can still see this is wet. And this has been sitting for 3 times as long. I don't know. Now the edges where it's less polished are starting to dry. I think that's going to be fine. But the rest of the concrete is still wet. Alright, we hit about the 10-minute mark since I stopped applying, and there are some areas that do seem to be now either drying up or absorbing. I can't tell which. They both look the same to me. Alright, we're at 15 minutes. You can see that it's definitely drying up. Now I'm questioning whether I should add another coat, because once it's dry, that's the end of the story for this stuff. So, but I think maybe it's actually gone too far already. Again, half an hour mark. Most of it has been absorbed or dried. We have some spots that not so much. And it's really hard to tell if there's any sort of film on the top at this point until it all completely dries. But you know, it's not. I think we're looking for something more in this area where it's completely dry and kind of a deadpan gray. Over here on the less processed sidewalls where I just couldn't grind it quite as much, it's definitely drier than any place else. Also, oddly, up top here too. So we're at the 45-minute mark, and I'm not really seeing much of a change compared to 15 minutes ago. It seems to have kind of stabilized now. That's not to say that this is done, because clearly there are areas that are not have not absorbed or not dried sufficiently at this point. I guess the real test is going to be after 24 hours to see what this looks like. I am somewhat concerned by this pattern here that's formed. It seems a little damp. I don't understand why, because there were, this is on a slope, so you wouldn't expect any pooling. And yeah, I just don't quite understand why that's there, but it seems to be hanging around. Hopefully that cures itself. For comparison, there's the spot that I did on the floor. It also is wet-ish looking, just barely, mind you. So back at the countertop, it's been hour 45 maybe. And I can still see areas of discoloration, so, but I think it's starting to improve. I just don't feel like, I think those discolorations may be just the sealant sitting on the surface that has dried, but we'll see. I think I may be doing a light sanding over top of this afterwards. I can't see that there'd be a problem with that. You know, if it actually has penetrated, just a very fine sanding to pull off any of the sealant that's left over the surface. Well, we'll see. I maybe should ask them, and I'm kind of pissed off at them, so I maybe just do it. And in the sink too, we still see that mess that's going on here. I don't know. Interestingly, you can still see my rebar shadow. Fuck, eh? Why didn't anybody say anything about that ever? I just don't get it. I mean, I must have watched a million videos on these concrete countertops. Nobody ever said anything about that happening. I don't know. I guess there's no avoiding it, right? So it is what it is. Damn. I swear to God, this thing's going up into the bathroom next. There's no going back after this. This is it. Done. Alright, I have had a classic change of mind here. I'm going to use one of these first, these little scrub pads. Let that dry and then see how that changes things. Let's just see what happens with the... Yeah, I would say that has some water resistance to it. There's no doubt about it. Does seem like it's effective. Alright. On with the show. Alright, I don't think that worked. I still have that same kind of discoloration, little areas here and there that I don't like. So, wet dry sandpaper is next. Well, it's the end of the road for the countertop project. I was not able to get rid of those discoloration areas with the 400 grit wet dry sandpaper. So, c'est la vie, that'd be the way it is, I think. I've got it up on a pitch here so we can test the water repellency of the sealer that I bought. And we'll just give that a go. Maybe shed some light on this subject here a bit. There we go. So there is some hydrophobicity going on, I would say. Yeah, that's pretty good. I assume that if, let's see, if this stuff is really working, that you wouldn't observe any color change in the concrete, because it should be, well, maybe you would a little bit, because there is a sheen to the water. Like, it's not pulling all the water off the surface, but nearly all. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll give that a pass, I think. So that's it, then. We'll close the book on this one. And we'll look forward to dragging this thing up 2 flights of stairs. That should be a hoot. Well, there you have it, boys and girls. It's as done as it's gonna get. So I hope you learned something from this, or at least found it interesting. I will definitely try and make a video after it is installed and functioning so you can see how it all ended up. Until then, thanks for watching. Cheers, everyone.